Dear chess lovers, welcome back to my channel. FIDE World Championship matches are happening in Dubai. Magnus Carlsen and Ian Nepomniachtchi is the players. First 5 games are drawn. Yesterday, 6th game, Magnus recorded his first win. Today the game 7. This game, Ian Nepomniachtchi played with white pieces. Magnus played with black pieces. Yesterday the long game. More than 7.5 hours were happening. Both players were tired, so today no interesting things. Today the 7th game is also drawn. Nepomniachtchi played with white pieces. He started with e4. Magnus replayed with e5. Then after knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, Rey-Lopez. Here a6. After bishop a4, knight f6, castle, bishop e7, rook e1, b5, bishop b3, then castle, now a4. Here rook b8, up to now there is no change in opening moves. Then a takes b5, a takes b5, here h3. After d6, there is no move order change in opening moves. Here Nepo changed the move order on d3, now h6. Here after knight c3, Magnus played rook e8. Now after knight to d5, Magnus played bishop f8. Then knight takes f6, queen takes f6. Now c3. After the long time, after some moves, Nepo played c3 here. Then Magnus played knight e7. Then bishop e3, bishop e6. Now d4. Here e takes d4. After c takes d4, Magnus starts to exchange all the pieces. Bishop takes b3, queen takes b3, now knight g6. Here commentators were saying rook a c1 is better option because after rook takes e4, rook takes c7, these two pawns never going to exchange, then maybe there is a chance to try. But here Nepo played rook e c1, then c5, here e5. Here Magnus played queen f5, then Nepo captured the pawn on c5, then d takes c5, after bishop takes c5, bishop takes c5, rook takes c5, now knight takes e5. Here after knight takes e5, rook takes e5, again Nepo starts to exchange the pieces, rook takes e5, queen takes e5, now queen c3. Here after queen exchange, queen takes c3, b takes c3, black played a rook c8. After exchanging all the pieces, everybody knows this kind of rook ending most probably will be end in draw, except made any mistakes. Now Magnus rook is attacking the pawn on c3. Here Nepo played a rook a5. After rook takes c3, rook takes b5. Here there is no hope to win for both players, but FIDE brings new rules. Before 40 moves, they cannot agree draw. So here players continue to play the moves. Now rook c1, king h2, then rook c3. Now h4, g6, then g3, now h5. Then king g2, king g7, now rook a5. After king f6, rook b5, here again Magnus played king g7, then again rook a5, then again king f6, then again rook b5, then again king g7. Here almost a threefold repetition happened, but both players did not claim draw to the arbiter. Here again Magnus played king f6, now after rook a6, then king g7. After rook a7, both players reached 40 moves, then they agreed a draw. After yesterday's long game, both players were looking tired. There is nothing surprise in this game. Most probably tomorrow's game, both players will get some good sleep and try to play good games. We'll see what's going to happen on next games. The current position, Magnus is leading 3.5 against 2.5. We'll see you on next game.